Hi guys, it's Joanne here. Welcome again to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to sew this beautiful pant trouser you're seeing on your screen. So if you're interested in something like this, kindly stick around, watch this video to the end. Don't forget to like and share this video. Also, please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done so yet. Turn on your post notification bell for more videos. Also, guys, I have posted the cutting part of this tutorial. It is up on my channel, so you want to check that out. It is well detailed. Without wasting much of your time, let's get right into the tutorial. So I have the pattern here with me I would be using for this tutorial. So like I said, I have the video of the cutting part. Please check it out. It is on my description box down below. Now I'm going to be making an alteration on this waist area. I'm going to be taking out the band from this pattern you're seeing here. So to do that, I'm going to come to the back pattern to mark down 1.5 inches from the waist area. Now this totally depends on what you want. If you want to have a wider band, you do as well to go down by 2 or 2.5, but I was fine with 1.5 inches. So I'm taking in the dart like this. I'm going to be folding in these darts, and I'm going to be connecting each of these lines I marked earlier. Okay, that will be to form my waistband. All right, so connect these lines you have here, you marked earlier, like this. And I'm also going to be using a masking tape to tape this down, because actually that doesn't get to the band, so that's why I am taking it the dart around this area. So I'm going to use my scissors now to cut out this band. So after cutting out, you should have something like this. This will now serve as the band. Go ahead to label your pattern, your band pattern. You don't want to mix it up. Label the side back and the center back. So this is the center back here, and this is the side back. So label the upper part as well, which is what I'm about to do. I labeled this as the upper part. So I am going to be placing it like this. All right, so this is how it's going to be once I'm done cutting on my fabric, and once I'm done with everything, this is how it's going to be. So for the front part, I am also going to do the same thing. So first I'm going to be taking in the darts. All right, I'm going to be taking in the darts for the front part. I'm going to come down here by 1.5 inches. So I'll go do the same thing and across this pattern paper here to use my ruler to connect each of those points here. All right, so connect each of those points like this. After connecting, use your masking tape to place the darts down. You don't want to have that on your band as well. Now I went ahead to label this pattern: center front, side front, and the upper parts. Okay, label it the way you're going to understand. Okay, so you don't want to mix the front parts. Use the front part on the back part. Okay, so you need to really label your pattern. So I'm going ahead now to cut out this one here. So this is the front band. I'm going to go ahead now to cut each of these patterns into my fabric, and after that I'm going to be showing you guys how we are going to be stitching these ones together. Okay, use your patterns and cut out. Use your patterns to cut on your fabric, and I'm going to show you guys the next step to take. So after I was done cutting on my fabric, this is exactly what I have here. All right, so you should have something like this. So for the band, I went ahead to use an interfacing called, which is also an S-stay. Okay, I used an S-stay for the band. You want your band to be steady, so I use an interfacing for the band. So for the back part, I cut out 2. All right, so for each of these patterns here, I cut out 2. All right, so for the back I cut out 2, then for the front I cut out 2. So now I'm going to be taking in the dart on transferring the darts from the pattern to the main fabric. To do that, I'm going to be folding where I have the band on the dart on the pattern paper. I'm going to be notching like this. Okay, so notch the part you're going to be stitching. So as you can see, I notch where I'm going to be taking the darts. So next thing I'm going to do to transfer this dart here is that I am going to also place a pin here. All right, and I'm going to go ahead to use my pencil to indicate where I am going to be taking this dart, where I'm going to be ending this dart, like sewing the darts. You understand? So I'm going to be sewing from the waist part to that point I indicated. And please note also that for each of these patterns here, I added half of an inch all around. So this is the front part here. As you can see, for the front also, I added half inch all around. I'm going to also transfer the dart here on the front part. So if you do not follow from the back, see, please watch this one carefully. So I notched the center part of the dart and I'm going to be putting a pin here. All right, so on the dart leg, I put a pin there to transfer to the fabric. And I went ahead to use a pencil to indicate where I'm going to stitch my dart to. You understand? So from the center part, I'll make a stitch and end where I used my pencil. So I'm taking off this pattern here so that we can start with the sewing process. All right, to begin with the sewing process, first and foremost, taking your dart, okay, open it up and taking your dart on the wrong part. Please, for your main fabric, also indicate the front and the back. After taking in your dart, you're going to be sewing the crouch area like this. Sew the crouch area by half of an inch. All right, so use your pin to secure it and take to your machine and sew by half of an inch. Do the same thing for the back part as well. All right, so when you sew it, you're going to also sew the back. Okay, so you know the back crouch area is longer than that of the front. That is how you differentiate the front from the back. Now, if you're going to be adding your zipper to this back part, you're going to indicate your zipper allowance. Then from there, taking your crouch measurements. All right, sew in your crouch. So I went ahead to use an overlocking machine to weave around each of these panels here. So this is the center part, the side, and the down parts. That is the area I used an overlocking machine, as you can see. So this part is for the center front. I have already stitched this down on the crouch area by half of an inch. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now would be to bring the back to the back part to the front part. So you're going to be placing right sides facing you like this and the right side of the back facing you like this. And you're going to be, first and foremost, you're going to stitch the dart area. Don't forget to take in your dart, okay? So after that, you're going to go ahead to join the front and the back sides together. And you're going to be sewing by half of an inch. Now, if you want to have a zipper on this side, this is the area you're going to be indicating your zipper allowance on the left side. Okay, you're going to indicate your zipper allowance from the top part here, come down by at least 8 inches. Now, from that point of 8 inches, you're going to be sewing your trouser, the side of your trouser, all the way down. So for the right part, you're going to be sewing from the waist part, the part you're not going to be adding zipper. You're going to be sewing from the waist area all the way down. Now, to take in the inseam like this, you're going to be matching the seams on the crouch area together. Also open up the seams on the crouch area. Use your pin to hold it down and sew all the way around. Now for the band, after stitching this, I'm going to be showing you guys what I would do next to it. So after I was done stitching, this is what I have here. You should also have something like this. I have stitched on the darts and yeah, the dart is looking pretty. So I'm going to be like knotting this dart leg here. So I did not necessarily make a top stitch around the dart area, okay? So now I'm going to knot it like this so it doesn't loose. So I advise you to do the same thing. This will give you a neat finish for your darts, okay? So I did the same thing on other parts, all right? So I had to just show you guys this little trick. After taking in the dart, I went ahead also to sew the sides of the trouser, as you can see. So for me, I'm not going to be adding zipper on the side. Rather, I'm going to be adding zipper on the back of this trouser. So if you're adding your zipper allowance, you're going to also indicate your zipper area on the side. After after stitching all this together, I am going to be ironing it. So you're going to open up your seams by the side, and on the inseam you're going to open up the seam. So open up your seams like this and give it a beautiful press. Okay, do the same thing for this part as well, and also iron the darts facing the side of the trouser. All right, do the same thing on this inseam. Open up the seams like this and give it a good press. I'll do that and show you guys what I have next. So I have gone ahead to iron this, and guys, this is looking very beautiful. Now, if you iron yours properly, this is exactly what you have. The next thing I'm going to do would be to start attaching the band to this trouser here. So this is the band I've cut. Notice that I added 1/2 inch allowance all around this band, this pattern. All right. So now I indicated on the pattern paper where I have the center front, the side front, the center back, and the side back respectively. So I'm going to be transferring the markings onto the fashion fabric. So also for the fashion fabric of this band, I cut 4 for each. So for the front, I cut 4. Now for the back, I also cut 4, because actually I'm going to be using 2 for the front as facing for the other 2 pieces. All right, and also for the back, I'm going to be using the other 2 I cut for the facing as well. So after doing this, I'm going to also indicate the upper parts. Also indicate your, make a mark on the band of the fashion fabric to remind you where you're supposed to be placing this. You don't want to be wrong about the placement. After that, I'm going to be stitching this like this. Okay, I'm going to be stitching by 1/2 inch, and when I open it up for the front, this is how it's going to be. So stitch the front, join the center part like this, and also do the same thing for the facing. All right, I hope you understand. So the front part, you're going to join 2 together. That's for the band, and for the facing, you're going to also do the same thing, join on the center parts, and when you open it, it's going to be 1. So for the front, you have just 1, and facing 1. So this is the back part. I am also labeling the main fashion fabric, where I have the top part, the side back, and the center back. I also went ahead to simply label this as the back, because honestly I did not want to mix up these bands, because actually they really look alike. Okay, they look close, they look alike. Okay, so now after that, I took out this pattern here, and for this back part, I'm going to be joining the both the facing and I'm going to join the facing to one part and the facing to the other part. Okay, so join the facing to one part and join the facing to the other part. So I'm going to be stitching by the center part, okay, which is 1/2 inch. I'll do the same thing for the second part of the back band. Once I'm through with that, I'm going to show you guys, so you guys would understand better what I'm explaining here. After stitching, guys, this is what I have here. So this one here, this other long one here, is for the center front of the trouser, and you see this one here, I separated them. So this one is for the back. You know, I will be adding my zipper to this back part, so you need to have 2. But if you're adding to the side, the zipper to the side, then it will be 1, just like the center front. Okay, just like the front part. So I'm going to be placing this like this. Okay, I'm going to be placing the right side to the right side of the band to the right side of the trouser, and I'm going to be pinning them. Okay, I'm going to place them down with my pin, and notice where I made this stitch, I left about 1/2 inch on those top parts here. Okay, because you know I'm going to be turning this, to the wrong side. Okay, so leave about 1/2 inch on this part where you made a stitch, leave about 1/2 inch on the upper part, then place this down with your pin. Keep it right side, facing the right side of the trouser, and hold it down with your pin. Once you're through with that, this is what you're going to have. Okay, you're going to have something like this. So you're going to see what you have. Once you're through with that, you have something like this. And when I turn it up like this, I'm going to like turn it over like this and resew it, like folding this other part I left, fold it in and also run a stitch. So this way you've already sewn your band. Okay, this way you've already sewn your band, but for now I am going to only stitch on the right side, like the way I placed it. I'm not going to be turning it yet. So place it down with your pin just the way it is, and sew it. Okay, I'll do the same thing for this other part, for this other back part, and for the front part. So when I'm done with that, you will see what you would have if you do the same thing. Okay. Now, once you're through with that, this is exactly what you have. So from here, I'm going to be making a stitch all the way to this part here, and I'll do the same thing for the back part. Okay, now after running a stitch there, I'm going to be closing the sides like half of an inch. So close the side of this trouser on the band area by half of an inch. So this is what I have here. I did not necessarily close the side yet. I wanted to show you guys after I was done stitching the band to the trouser. So this is what I have here. I went ahead to iron up this part where I'm going to be turning it in to the wrong side. And for this side here, I am going to as well close this part by half of an inch. So go ahead and indicate the allowance you have. So for me, I have about half of an inch on both sides. So I just marked that part to show you guys. So I'm going to place it like this, right side of the band. Okay, right side of the front band to right side of the back band. I'm going to place it like this. Use my pin to secure it, then making sure that the seams on the upper part matches. Okay, make sure that the seams around that part aligns. Then you're going to be stitching this part, this area here, by the allowance you have left on the band part, the band area. Okay, you're going to be stitching by the allowance. For me, I had about half of an inch is of allowance, so I'm going to stitch that part by half inch of allowance. I'll do the same thing for this part, and after that I am going to turn this like this, and I'm going to be sewing it all around. So for the hem part, I'm going to also hem the down part by the allowance I had. So hem the down part by the allowance you have. I'm going to be using an hemming gum to hold the down part, to hem this down part, because I don't want to have stitches shown on this part of the trouser. Okay, so I'm going to hem this part down. So if you don't know what an hemming gum looks like, this is what an hemming gum looks like. So you're going to place it there and use your iron to iron it. With that, it's going to stay. Now for this part here, I'm going to also open the zipper line up, and I'm going to be fixing my zipper, but I'll do that off camera and show you guys the outcome. After stitching the zipper, this is exactly what this trouser looks like, and I stitch also the band. As you can see here, this is looking all neat and clean. So stitch yours and iron properly. Now for the hem part, I'm going to show you guys in a bit what I did to the hem part, how it's looking very neat. So for the hem part, if you used an hemming gun for it, you should have something like this as shown here. Okay, this would give yours a very neat finish at the end of the day, instead of having stitches around your hemline. Okay, you want to hem that part with an hemming gum. If you want to have a very neat finish, you should do that. Okay, so guys, this is looking very neat, this is looking very pretty. For the zipper, this is what it looks like. All right, so yeah, this is sitting very pretty, this is very beautiful, as you can see. So guys, tell me what you think about this video. Thank you so much for watching, and see you guys in my next one.